Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Fourth and Two podcast.
Fourth and Two.
Your host, Preston.
I'm Jerome.
And thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us
Yes.
today on this episode.
Yeah.
So in this segment, we're rolling straight into, we're doing game predictions for the first week of NFL football. Cannot tell you how excited I am for football to be back.
Football is here. It is back.
College, NFL, everything. So it's a great time.
Whew.
But Jerome, tell me who you got in the first matchup with Ravens-Chiefs.
Yeah, so Ravens-Chiefs. This is a tough one. Right off the bat, starting off hot. You know, I honestly think the Ravens are going to beat the Chiefs.
Dang.
I got the Ravens beating the Chiefs. What about you?
Oh, I got the Chiefs beating Ravens, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be a good matchup. I think
It's
it'll be a really close game. What a way to kick off the season, too, right?
Man.
Great
Thursday,
matchup.
and then you got a game Friday. So speaking of the Friday game,
Yeah, Friday.
going down, you got Packers and Eagles. Who do you got?
Oh, man. I got Eagles.
You got Eagles?
I think they want a vengeance this year, man.
Yeah.
What about you? Who do you got?
You know, that's another close one. This is a good slate. But I honestly, I think the Eagles are going to take it, but it's going to be close.
Yeah. This is the game in Brazil, too, I think.
Yeah, it's in Brazil.
Yeah, I think it's in
Solid
Brazil.
I can't say that word,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that'll be a good one. All right, so then we have a Sunday slate. Morning slate
12
Sundays.
o'clock. Yeah.
So who do you got for Cardinals-Bills?
You know, as much as I want to say the Cardinals are going to beat the Bills, the Bills are going to take that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, like the Bills are they're going to beat the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to have to get their training wheels off first. So that's why. But midway through the season,
I've got the shocker, man. I've got the
Oh,
Cardinals.
you got the Cardinals?
I've got the Cardinals upsetting the Bills week 1, man.
Woo!
I think Marvin Harrison comes out and proves why he was the number 1 pick, man. As far as number 1 receiver, not number 1 overall, but you know what I mean. Number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
But anyways, rolling into the next game.
Yeah, so let me jump into this next game.
I already know who you're gonna say, but
Patriots Bengals. Who do you got?
Bengals.
Yeah, I got the Bengals.
Yeah,
That's a pretty easy one. If any Patriots up, sorry about your
no, I'm not.
week 1. If you're a Patriots fan, sorry about week 1.
Yeah.
Maybe week 2. You know.
Maybe.
All right. So go ahead. Yeah.
So we got next. What's the next
We
matchup?
got the Vikings going to the Giants.
Oh,
So Sam Darnold.
that's a Vikings win all
Vikings.
day.
You don't think Malik Neighbors and Daniel Jones get it done?
No.
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, it could be tough playing at the Giants. Dude, that stadium, man, hurts everybody. Everybody gets hurt
but it's
there.
the Giants, you know. Come on, there ain't nothing going on there,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But so then the next game. Speaking of a close game, I think, in my opinion, Titans Bears. Who do you got there?
You know, I think the Titans are going to take that.
Yep.
The Titans are going to the Bears Stadium. But I think the Titans are going to go take that game away from the Bears, honestly.
Yeah. No, I'm in agreement.
You're in agreement?
I think Titans win it. I think it'll be not super close, but it'll be an interesting game to watch for sure because there's a lot of offense getting figured out on both teams.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to watch.
Right. So Panthers at the Saints. Who do you got?
Saints.
You got the Saints?
Oh my goodness, the Panthers.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Listen, I think the small take real quick.
Yeah.
The tie. I think the Panthers could be potentially, for sure, under 4 wins this season, but I could see them going 0 wins.
No wins. Not
No
one.
Wins.
Not
Getting 1 win. That's my bold hot take for a team this season.
Can't
I
even
could see
get
them having
lucky all
0.
season.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yep. But
That would
anyways,
be-
that's for a whole different breakdown. But who do you got in this game?
Dang, I actually have the Saints too.
Yeah.
I think this is where the Saints just get things start rolling, figured out. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Cool. So rolling on the next game. This one's a good one too. Steelers Falcons.
yeah.
What do you got there?
You know, I got the Falcons.
Okay.
I think the Falcons are gonna roll over the Steelers.
Yeah.
I think Russell's a little. I'll give him a
Steeler Nation.
I'll
Let's
keep my
ride.
pain to myself, but I don't think Russell has what it takes.
Yeah.
I think he's shown us what he is so far.
Yeah, I got Falcons winning this one again. Another team that's got to figure out a lot is the Steelers. Now, I will say the Steelers' defense is always good, so you never know. This game might be a lot closer than we think it would be.
Yeah.
But I do have the Falcons ended up.
The Steelers would need 3 pick
defensive
sixes.
stops. Yeah.
But moving to this is the game of the week for me, by the way.
Oh, okay.
So we got the Jaguars at the Dolphins.
Oh,
This game,
that's Dolphins all day.
you got the Dolphins.
Oh,
I do
yeah.
have the Dolphins, but I think this game's gonna be closer than we imagine.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless the Jaguars really are just that bad and they go out and lay an egg, and the Dolphins just completely score like 40 points on them.
Yeah.
Which is possible, but I think this could be a game of the week. I think this could be like a shootout.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of split on the shootout part, but I think it'll be an interesting game for sure. But I think Dolphins take that one for sure.
Yeah.
But rolling into this is I want to say my game of the week, but you know what? It is my game of the week. Why not?
Yeah.
Houston, Indianapolis.
That's a game. That's gonna be. I want to watch this game.
Yeah.
Like I'm like excited about to watch the Bengals, but I'm like if I can get that split thing,
split
screen stuff.
Yep.
Shout out. We're not gonna do shouts to YouTube, but but if we can get that figured out, because I would love to set up a couple games, because this is a game I want to watch.
Yeah. Who do you got winning it?
I got the Texans winning.
Yeah.
The Colts will put up a fight just because it's a divisional game, but the Texans will win that game.
Yeah, same. I've got Texans winning that game. I mean, I think they steamroll. I think they start super hot this season.
Yeah,
like they're going to be phenomenal.
Yeah. So moving on to the Raiders versus Chargers. Or your Chargers.
Chargers.
You picking the Chargers?
I'm picking the Chargers.
Off the rip.
I'm picking the Chargers. You want to know why?
Wow.
Because here's the thing. I think it's going to be a new, exciting playbook I'm hoping DJ Chark does well. Like, I'm hoping for some things. Maybe Gus Edwards, And you know what? Call me a homer. It's okay. I'm being a homer. I want my Chargers to win. But who do you got?
Man, looking at this game, I just wanted to see the over-under. I got the Raiders winning this game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I mean, you look at the Vegas numbers, it's low. I think Vegas just gets out of there like 24 to 17. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game.
Yeah, like it's gonna be
close.
Always good games. Vegas gets out of there, or Raiders.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah,
Vegas. They get out of there and they just go mosey on, thinking they're good. And
Viva Las Vegas, dude.
Yeah.
But all right, next game. This also could have been a contender for game of the week. Let me tell you.
This game,
Broncos Seahawks.
Yo, this is the doozy. This is the one you go. This is the one you go check your lawn. You don't even. You live in an apartment.
Yeah,
you just go up there.
You do the honeydew list.
You go do that.
You take care of the chores
Man.
during this one. Which I actually think there's another one for it. But anyways, who do you got winning this? Who do you got?
Broncos Seahawks. Seahawks are winning this game.
Yeah.
But I see the Seahawks taking time to figure things out, trying things. I think it's time for them to see if they can get Jackson Smith and Njigba involved and stuff like that. So, honestly, the Seahawks are going to win the game. I just don't see them starting out hot. It's one of those boring games. It's going to cool off the afternoon because there's going to be some crazy games up. But what about you?
I have 4 words for you. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos are taking this game.
Right.
Broncos are taking it, dude. They're winning the game.
You got Bo Nix
I got Bo Nix coming out, starting the season hot. I've got Cortland Sutton being the only thing that can help him Javonte Williams a little bit. But Cortland Sutton, Bo Nix, Javonte Williams are coming in there, and they're taking the win from the Seahawks. You want to know why? You want to know real quick? You want to know why?
Get the
because
why.
The Seahawks are not going to take the Broncos serious enough. That's the problem. They're going to write them off. They're going to be like, Broncos, rookie quarterback. They're just going to write them off. So, Bo Nix, please don't make me look like a fool. Please go out there and have a great game. But anyways, I got Broncos winning it. But yeah, man, rolling into this game is always good. This game is
every
always
year,
good.
Dude.
Doesn't matter what the record is.
I might have you over to watch this game.
This is always a good game. So who do you got in the Browns-Cowboys?
The Cowboys are coming to the Browns Stadium. For someone that's grown up as a Bengals fan, watching the Browns Stadium, it's tough to beat the Browns at home. I'm not gonna lie, but it's also tough to beat the Cowboys at home.
Yeah,
I gotta go with the Browns.
Interesting,
isn't that? Okay. I think Dak does not know what's coming. I think Myles Garrett and those boys are about to have Dak shocked.
Yeah,
but if it was later on in the season and Dak had figured it out with CD, because CD hasn't played, we haven't seen any preseason action. I think that's gonna take
sign though, which is good.
He signed.
Yep.
But I got the Browns. I'll tell you my reasonings maybe if you ask me later. But I got a lot of reasonings. But Browns are taking that game.
I got Cowboys.
You got Cowboys?
Yeah, it always seems like the Cowboys always squeak out a win. But I mean, like it may be like a field goal or a touchdown win.
Yeah.
Like for some reason, it's always such a super competitive game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got the Cowboys taking it.
So next game, Commanders Buccaneers.
Ooh,
what a game,
man! This is a
might be the
tough
game
one. My heart wants to say Commanders, but I have to go with the Bucs. Because the Commanders have a lot to figure out. Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback. And I know all y'all are going to say, you're saying all this, but Bo Nix is the same category. I know. Just let me have my picks, man. But
I'll tell you what, though. I do have the Bucks. I do have the Bucks winning that.
Okay.
But if Jaden Daniels goes out there and beats Baker Mayfield and the what is it?
Week 1?
Bucks. Yeah, week 1.
Tampa Bay, yeah.
If they come out and beat Tampa Bay week 1, people will be putting statues of him up. So.
I'm going to be getting trade offers in my Dynasty League for Jaden Daniels.
I'm so salty about that. He has
that's time for another. That's for another video.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that.
But anyways, rolling into we'll roll on from that one. All right, we got Rams Lions. These always seem to be a good game too. So who do you got? Who do you got there?
This game, I believe, is going to be a shootout. And I think personally, it can go either way. But I'm going to say the Lions just because they have a better defense. But offenses, I literally think they are pretty similar. But anyway, for you, who do you got?
Yeah, I got Lions. I think the defensive side of the ball is huge in this game. On top of, you've got the Lions coming off a crazy year. And I think they just continue on that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yep.
But jumping into the last game, this actually, I thought about this being my game of the week. So it is the Jets going to the 49ers.
Yeah.
Who do you have in this game?
I've got to stick with the Niners. Again, you talk about a team that was super hot last season, continuing on that. It'll be a close game if Rodgers can stay healthy for longer than the first play, which I hope he does, genuinely. But their whole season rides on him being healthy. But anyways, I got the Niners. Who do you got?
I have the Jets. I think the Jets are going to end up shocking everybody Monday night, beating the 49ers. And I have my reasonings. I want to tell you everything, but I'm going to pick the Jets, and I'm going to either look like a genius or like an idiot. So
so that wraps up our picks as far as game winners this week. What we're going to do too is y'all put your predictions down below as well, and we're going to tally up our wins, our correct picks. We're not going to tally the losses because that's not as fun.
Cares about that.
We're going to tally the correct picks, and then at the end of the season, maybe we'll have like punishment, like fantasy football style between the two of us. Do a little friendly competition,
Yeah, okay.
Listen, I ain't doing the whole Waffle House 24-hour thing. I got way too much to do.
You guys decide what the punishment is, because we will not be able to decide. And we'll obviously we'll
pick one out of the
recommendations. Today we are going to be doing a segment on Stardom Situm for fantasy football.
Yep.
So we're going to
brand new segment.
It's a brand new segment. What we're going to do is we're going to be talking about quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers specifically, giving our starts, giving our sits at each position. And I'm just going to throw it off to Preston.
Yeah.
So quarterbacks. Right off the rip.
Do we want to start? Start? All right, we're going to start. My start is Joe Burrow.
Okay.
This week. He's got the Patriots, and I think he comes back angry. And I mean the word angry.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow wants to win. Hopefully, right now, as of the time of this episode, Jamar hasn't signed a contract yet. He's still not going to practice. So, obviously, we hope Jamar's going to be there. But even without Jamar, I think Joe Burrow comes out, has a great game.
Yeah.
I think they start the season hot. So, my start for sure is Burrow. If you've got stake in him, man, do not sit him. I don't know why you'd sit him, but you got to start him.
I'm about that, man. You can't ask me.
Who's your start on your quarterback?
My start is Tua Tagovailoa, man. I think he's going to be, I forget.
They got Jacksonville, right?
They're playing Jacksonville. And I think Tua is going to Tua comes out hot every year, man. He just does. Dolphins come out hot, man. Yeah. I think Tua and Tyreek and Jalen's going to be healthy. Jalen Waddle. Raheem Mostert. You got so much speed and talent. Devon A-Chain. So, start Tua. I think you're going to be very thankful for that. So, yeah. So, let's move over to sits, quarterback-wise. Who's your sit as a quarterback?
All right, listen. My sit quarterback is a guy that I actually really like this year overall. But I think he needs a game or two to get warmed up, and that's Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
He's got Houston week 1, so he's got a really tough defense that he's coming back to.
Yeah.
Coming off an injury. Again, I think Anthony Richardson has a great season overall in fantasy football, but I think it's a tough matchup to come back to start. So if you have other options, I would say sit Richardson for this week.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Who do you got for your sit?
And to put in I have a sit, but like, am I saying like we're not saying to like sit and not start them. There's
Right.
they're just the matchup's tough, right? So as far as my sit is Dak Prescott this week. I think that Cleveland Browns defense is going to give him fits. I think they're going to come ready to play. The Dallas Cowboys are going to Cleveland. I think Dak is a sit as far as quarterbacks, but like relative to you're not going to start like Bryce Young over Dak this week, right?
Or Richardson.
So put that in perspective. Like, if you have Bryce Young and Dak, start Dak.
Right.
But, like, if you have other comparable quarterbacks that are in that range, you might want to look at those guys.
Yeah, and the other perspective is I know some of you guys are going to have super flex leagues where you're playing two quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So your options are playing Anthony Richardson. Like in super flex leagues, you may not want to sit these guys we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
But if you're playing in one quarterback leagues and you've got other options, so it's all relative to what kind of leagues you guys are playing into with all of these lists going forward. Yeah. But who's your start running back this week? Who do you think is going to have a good running back?
Oh my! I think David Montgomery gets 2 touchdowns and probably 80 yards on the ground against the Rams. I believe they're playing the Rams, right?
Yep.
I think David Montgomery is a great running back start this week. If you have any doubt in your mind, I'm here to relieve it. Start David Montgomery.
You know what's funny? My start is the other half of that backfield, Jahmyr Gibbs.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah, one of them is going to just do it.
Yeah, I think Jahmyr's going to have a great game. Again, I think the Rams' defense just isn't quite there. And you're talking about a really high-scoring, high-efficiency offense in the NFL.
Right.
It's the Lions, right? So I don't think – honestly, even starting, if you got both of them, start both of them. Yeah. I mean, like, honestly, you might get enough points to cover on that.
You still win your running back. You know
right.
What I mean?
Yeah, no, for sure. Any of the Lions' backfield is a start.
Yeah.
But who's your sit for the running back?
My sit is gonna be DeAndre Swift. I think I like DeAndre this year, but going against that Titans defense, man, that defense comes ready to play. I don't know what it is.
Jeffrey Simmons,
they're just. I don't see you running against. They've been ran. Derrick Henry just beat them up so much, and they learned so much. I feel like that they're just like every running back goes in there, and they're like, "You're not running on us."
Yeah.
So
you gotta throw the
DeAndre
ball.
Swift, unless you're playing a PPR and you're banking on like 15 catches and screens, I think that's the only way he's gonna have success at the Titans. What about you? Who's your sit?
Man, my sit, I want to say it's pretty obvious, and my sit is a guy that maybe not a lot of you are playing. This might apply more to those like super flex leagues or those leagues, right, 12, 14 man, where it's a little bit tougher. Devin Singletary from the Giants. Again, I think the Giants' offense is going to be atrocious this year, but B, I think Singletary's going to have a really, really tough time this game. I don't see much production being there. They've got a lot to figure out. Daniel Jones is back, so there's just a lot of
question marks there.
A lot of question marks and a lot of just go. There's so many other running backs you can even if you had to pick up off waivers, in an emergency type thing. But who's your who's your start wide receiver?
So wide receiver, this is I love wide receivers.
Yep.
But my start as far as wide receivers is going to be Marvin Harrison Jr.
Ooh, I like it.
He is going to be balling out week 1. I think we're gonna fall in love with him quick. I think we're going to be like,
I'm already in love.
I am in love with him, but I think there's some skeptics out there that are going to be like, that's talent, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So my start is Marvin Harrison Jr. I won't tell you why, I just say start him.
You think he still does good against Bills defense?
I think he's going to do,
Okay.
I think the Bills lost a little bit too much this year.
That's fair.
But who's your start? What about you? Who's your start?
Man, my start is a guy on a team that we already talked about. Amon-Ra St. Brown, man.
Oh, yeah.
Rams, again, another team that their defense is just falling apart.
Yeah.
There's not much more to say besides. And I mean, we're talking about Amon-Ra. He's phenomenal. He's gonna be a top 5 wide receiver this year.
Oh yeah.
If you've got Amon-Ra, and also there's no reason there's no world where you would sit Amon-Ra. So of course he's my start.
Unless you got like Tyreek Hill or Amon-Ra St. Brown, it's like
unless
Tyreek this week, but like who's making that decision?
Yeah, there's only about 3 other guys that you would sit him for.
Yeah.
And if you have both, Wow.
Yeah.
Let me know what league you're playing in.
Let me join that league because I'm about to have fun too. I'm about to have fun over there. You know what I mean?
But who's your sit wide receiver this week?
All right. So to my sit this week is going to be Brandon Ayuk. The 49ers against the Jets. I see Sauce. One of those corners are going to match up with them.
Yeah.
Brandon, he hasn't practiced in a minute. I love Brandon Ayuk this year, but I think starting out, I don't see him doing well.
Yeah.
As far as his matchup this week.
Yeah.
So I would sit Brandon Ayuk. I love Brandon Ayuk though. Love you, man. Good. Congratulations on
the contract.
Yep.
Finally got signed.
Yeah.
But so to round out my sit receiver is actually Christian Kirk.
Okay.
I think the Miami secondary is good.
Okay.
I mean, they have been good, right? Obviously, but Christian Kirk, he's got a little bit of a calf injury. I know they're saying he's going to start week 1.
Yeah.
They're projecting that, but he's a little banged up potentially, and he's going against a pretty good secondary. I think there's other receiver. There's plentiful of guys you can start for a week that can get you 15, 20, somewhere in there. So I would say sit Kirk this week. I don't think he'll have a bad year, but I think this isn't the right matchup for him for week 1. So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, that's our start and sit 'em this week, and for week 1 of fantasy football.
Yep.
Like we said earlier, comment, let us know
your starting
sits, and we truly want to know who are you starting, who are you sitting. So,
and in this segment, we're going to be talking about our contenders, pretenders. So we did this last episode for AFC.
Yeah.
Today's is going to be NFC. Again, for people, if you may, first off, go watch our last episode.
Yeah.
We're on YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram. We're all over the place. So go check us out.
Yeah.
But so for people that didn't watch it, our contenders are going to be people we think are either A, going to win the division, or it might be somebody that can still contend towards playoffs that aren't necessarily going to win their division, but are maybe getting off playoff.
They're going to get the wild card kind of
right.
spot. You know what I mean?
And then the pretenders are obviously going to be the people that we think that are not going to do well, not going to make the playoffs, just have a overall tough time this season. But let's kick it off, dude. Let's start with one of the hottest ones in the NFC. Let's go NFC East.
Wow.
First off the line.
Wow.
So who's your?
You're going to throw it over to me.
Let's go with who's your pretender. Let's go pretenders first.
So pretenders. I personally, this division is really between two people. You have the Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys. Unfortunately, the Giants, they've been there. I'm sorry, it's not their year.
No.
And then as far as Washington Commanders, right?
Yeah.
They got a lot of new guys. They got a new quarterback. They're rebuilding. I'm not going to dock them for that, right?
Right.
So speaking between pretenders and contenders, I think it's tough. Dallas Cowboys or Philadelphia Eagles. If I had to put money on it today, I think hurts me to say this. I think the Eagles are the pretenders this year.
Wow.
So, but they're finishing second in that division. Like, it's not like they're finishing last. The Giants will be finishing last. The Commanders will be finishing second.
I will say this is probably the one division in the NFC
weird.
That, well, A, weird, but B, that I would put an asterisk over what we just went over in the sense of the pretenders in this division might actually make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's hard to give a real pretender in this league because the Cowboys or the Eagles, I think both teams could make the playoffs for sure.
Are potentially going to make
so then
the
obviously your contender is going to be Dallas, right?
So obviously my contenders this year are going to be Dallas. I think Dallas actually might win their first playoff game.
Oh, let's go!
I think they actually get in there and actually do something this year. I think it's this time. It's one of those. I can't say that, but yeah. But I have the Dallas Cowboys as my contenders.
Okay.
Representing the NFC East.
So
what about for you?
What's interesting is my pretenders are the Cowboys.
Ooh, so we're just opposite.
We're opposite.
Yeah.
So my pretenders are the Cowboys.
Another year
of
that?
My contenders are the Eagles. The Eagles went out and got stronger. The Eagles have been there. The Eagles have been to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Here's a very, very hot take. It's a side piece. Dak Prescott's not that guy.
Oh.
He hasn't been. He keeps failing in the playoffs. Yeah. If you want to talk about, there's guys that are good enough to win you games, and there's guys that are good enough to do things the right way. Dak is one of those guys. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. What I'm saying is he doesn't have the it factor.
You know what? You changed my mind.
You know what I mean? Like he's never had the it factor yet. Yeah. He still could, but yet he hasn't done it yet.
You know what? I'm actually publicly going to state here, I'm in 100% agreement with you. I love the Eagles. It hurt me to say that Dallas is going to beat the Eagles or be the contenders. Yeah. And I sit here and I'm like, I don't believe that. Like, I really don't. Like, I look at a lot of numbers and analytical stuff, and I'm like, analytics and looking at Vegas bets and stuff like that, they're telling me the Cowboys are going to be good this year.
They say that every year.
I'm just like, I don't believe that. If I'm going to be genuine, I believe the Eagles are actually going to take that division. Yeah.
Listen, all you got to do is listen to Cowboys fans, all right? Every year it's their year, all right? Unfortunately, it's just not the case. Yeah. Now, again, as a caveat to this division, I think both teams make the playoffs. I do think Dallas will be in the playoffs contention. Yeah. This is the one division in the United States that's like, okay, there's probably two teams from here making the playoffs for sure. Yeah. And it's probably these two teams. But anyways, now that we've talked about both those good teams over there, let's roll into the NFC North.
I'm gonna have you start this one. NFC North, okay.
NFC North, man.
You got the Bears, Minnesota, you got Green Bay, and Detroit. Who is your pretender?
So I mean,
pretender. We'll start there. The contender's easy.
Yeah, contender's very easy.
But pretender-wise,
I think there's only two teams to talk about. I mean, you could maybe have three teams to talk about, but I don't think so. I think it's really two teams that are going to be in contention for winning this division.
I'm asking you a different question.
Well, no, I have a different take on it. I'm not going to give an obvious one, right? Yeah. I think my pretenders are the Bears,
right?
Again, I think there's a lot of question marks. I think there's a lot of interesting things going on in Chicago. But as far as like a pretender that I'm actually trying to think of that's like, okay, they're probably taking last in the division. It's honestly between the Bears and the Vikings for the pretenders. But, pretenders, I'm going to go with Bears. I think there's just too much new going on. I think in the next couple of years they could be good, but not quite yet.
Give them a couple of years, let them settle down. But right now,
get another piece or two.
They need to figure out. Yeah.
Who's your pretender?
So I'm echoing everything you're saying right now. Okay. I think we're pretty straight.
Pretty set.
But my pretenders are the Bears. I can see them splitting with Minnesota this year, giving Minnesota a scare. And Minnesota scare being like, oh, we might be lost in the
fighting
division.
Fighting at 3-4, yeah.
But I think, so contenders, though, it's pretty
my contenders, that's Detroit. I mean, there's no way they don't win that division. Yeah. I mean, Green Bay will be close. Yeah, I mean, I think, I said it last time, but I'm going to say it again. Green Bay and Detroit could make the playoffs. Yeah. These are both two great teams. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. There's a lot of teams in that. Yeah. I think it'll be close as far as they're going to be 1-2 flipped. I don't know. But Detroit's my contenders. I got them going pretty far to the playoffs too.
Yeah. Same. I got Detroit. I got Detroit in the Super Bowl this year.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to do Super Bowl predictions one of these weeks.
Yeah. My Super Bowl prediction for the AFC is wild, but
we'll have
to do that in another episode.
Oh my gosh.
No, don't even get into it. Don't even get into it.
I don't know who his prediction is.
My AFC is wild.
But anyway, moving on to this next division. Okay?
Yeah.
What about the NFC South? You got Tampa Bay Saints, Carolina Panthers, and the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh,
what a division!
Oh, what? Yeah, it's a division.
What a division! I love this division.
Debatably one of the worst divisions in the NFL.
I think.
Let me know what you think. Do you think this is the worst division in the NFL currently? Let me know what y'all think. Comment down below.
Unless you're a fan, clearly they're gonna be like, "Oh,
right. Oh, you're crazy, man! The Panthers are gonna win." Throw 12 games this year, man. I don't want to hear it.
Hey, I think someone sent us a DM saying that Panthers are going 12-5.
I got to send a DM to my brother. I did a fantasy football draft last night. He was trying to tell me if Bryce Young was going to go off, which we'll see.
Hey,
so,
no disrespect to the Panthers.
We're going to find out. I'm going to find out if my brother was right. So we'll see. But, okay, my pretenders. it feels like a cheap shot, really. You know,
It really does.
My pretenders, the Panthers. I mean, come on, like that's what we call softball, right? It's just like, here you go. And it's just a softball, man. Like, how are you not going to say the pretenders are the Panthers, especially in this division, man?
Yeah.
Like, they're not touching Tampa Bay, they're not touching Atlanta, they're probably not touching New Orleans. Like, they're so. I mean, to the extent of the NFL doesn't even believe in this team this year, right? They gave them one primetime game for this whole year, and they're the only team in the NFL to have one primetime game. The NFL has already wrote the script, and they are just so far off in the distance, they don't even know that they exist anymore. But anyways, I'm gonna stop because I can keep going on and on about it. Who's your
burying them?
Yeah, I'm burying them.
Bury them.
Yeah, send them off. But who's your contenders?
I'm not gonna bury them much further, but it is gonna be the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. I do think they'll have a better season than last year, though. I will give them that. I think they will do better. I think that I don't know who the quarterback coach is. The coach that they brought in is good with quarterbacks. I forget his name. I think he's going to get them straightened out a little bit. So I think they'll have a better season than last year, but I don't see them being competitive enough to
much
win
of
this
anything.
division. So,
but
this will be interesting though. Who's your contender in this division?
My contender.
I know we're opposite.
So my contender is actually going to make. You know what? I'm going to give it another small shout out.
Yeah.
Small shout out because I know it's his team. Small shout out to a guy who lives up in Oregon.
Oh wow!
We're gonna see if he listens to this. And
yeah,
he's gonna know.
See if he listens.
We're in a fantasy football league with him too, so now you really know I'm talking about you.
Man.
No name dropping though, because I don't want people to go find you out or anything like that. But it's New Orleans Saints.
You got the Saints?
I got the Saints as my contenders in this division. I think Carr's going to get it figured out. I think they're going to have. I mean, you have Olave, you have Kamara, you do have Michael Thomas running those slants, so we love that. I think they figured it out this year. I think Derek Carr has a little bit of a comeback year, honestly. But yeah, I think them and Atlanta will be pretty close. Them, Atlanta, and Tampa Bay can honestly all be fighting.
They're going to be
pretty close for winning that. But I think the Saints just have a little bit above, but it'll be a close division for sure. Man. But who's your contender?
It's between the Saints and Atlanta, and I pick Atlanta.
Okay.
Essentially, I think Atlanta has a little bit better of a defense, honestly. Whenever I have a tiebreaker on teams, I look at what their defense looks like, and I like Atlanta's defense. I like the pieces they've added, man. I'm excited about watching them go out there and have a good season for once. So
honestly, those teams are really comparable.
They're going to be
even their defenses are pretty comparable in my book. Like they both have decent defense. Yeah. Those two might be.
And Tampa Bay, even in there, Tampa Bay, like they're not like.
Tampa Bay will only be in it if Baker Mayfield has the same season he did last year.
Yeah.
If Baker Mayfield doesn't have the same or better than last season, they won't be in this conversation.
Yeah, true.
But so theirs a little bit more like one player dependent.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, these other two teams are fighting for that one too.
I'm curious. I'm gonna do a poll. If you guys go ahead, comment in the NFC South, right?
Yep.
NFC South. Comment and tell us who is your contenders. And I want to see like consensus what everyone's thinking, because that division can go either way.
Oh yeah, you could talk about the
Carolina,
division,
but like those three, Tampa Bay, Atlanta,
you can talk about that division
Saints,
for a while.
You could sit and talk about that. You could store that pot for minutes. So.
Yeah,
but we don't have that much time, so let's move on to the next one. You know what I mean?
Dude. All right, last division, man.
Yeah.
NFC West.
Yes.
Who are your pretenders?
Oh, you're starting with me with pretenders.
Who is your pretenders for the West?
So, the Seahawks are my pretenders in that division this year.
Man, that's interesting. Okay, tell me more.
Seahawks, man, I love Kenneth Walker this year, but I think Geno lays an egg. I think Geno goes out there and lays an egg. I love the Seahawks. I love DK. I like JSN. I think they've got some great young Kenneth Walker. They got a lot of talent, but I think Geno this year just gonna go out there and I think he's gonna blossom. He blossomed, and I think it's winter time. Winter has come, and he has completely. He's back.
He's got to fly south.
Gonna fly south, and he's in Cancun just hanging
laying
out.
eggs.
Laying eggs, man.
Yep, all right.
So I got the Seahawks. What about you?
Interesting. Mine is actually the Rams.
The Rams, okay.
I don't. Here's why. I don't like the announcement with Kyren Williams taking punts. Okay. I think he's going to end up getting hurt. Like I don't think that's worth it. Stafford, to me, is getting a little bit older. I don't know how much more he's got in the gas tank.
Yeah.
You've got Puka and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I think they could still have good years. But as far as, I don't know if they take last in the division. They may, but I don't see them really going to the playoffs or anything like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, who's your contender for this division? I mean, yeah.
So, side note, Kyren, we did a draft last night. Yeah. Kyren Williams dropped to the 5th round. And I was like, if he comes back to me, I got to take him in the 5th round. He didn't make it back to me. The pick before your dad got him, I think, right before me. But anyway, my contenders, as far as this division, it's the 49ers.
Yeah.
I wish I could be make it drum roll please kind of thing. 49ers are going to come out here and they might. They will be pushing for a Super Bowl again. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So my contender for this division is the Arizona Cardinals.
Wow. I had a feeling you were going to say that.
It's the Cardinals. So hear me out. I know the Cardinals are not winning the division. So before you go off and go in those comments, I'm not delusional. The Niners are winning the division, point blank, period. But do I think Arizona can make the playoffs this year? I do. If Marvin Harrison is projected to have the season that they're talking about, he could help carry them. If James Conner can stay healthy, I think Kyler Murray, if you look at statistically, when Kyler Murray has had a true wide receiver 1 on his team, he plays so much better, honestly. And so I think Marvin Harrison is that guy. So I think Kyler plays better. You've got Marvin Harrison. James Conner can maybe stay healthy. Defensive side of the ball, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. Yeah. So again, this contender pick is more of I can see them in the playoffs. Yeah. Kind of thing. But
I can totally see. I do see them. I think one of my hot takes last week was that they make the playoffs and lose to Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. But I do like that. I like that take.
Yeah.
Or not take. It's like a contender. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Niners will be there for sure. They're winning the division. That's no question. But hey, this will wrap up our episode of 4th and 2.
4th and 2.
We appreciate you guys coming out, listening. Hey, please continue to like, share, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We love making this content for you guys, and just put in the comments what you think about anything throughout this episode. Yeah. And just let us know as far as what you think about all these takes, and we'll be doing some new segments probably next week. Maybe a little bit of old ones. We're gonna start mixing it up and doing some different stuff with you guys. But
couple new segments for you guys next week, which is fun. But give a follow. See you next week. You know what I mean?
See you guys.
4th and 2.